And I'm Armando.
And today we're going to be talking to you about classes and objects.
So basically, a class, or like using a class, allows you to actually like invent your own data type, sort of how we have like the number type or like strings. You can actually set up your own by using classes, and then an object would be an actual like representation of that class.
Exactly. So just like with strings, your string would be like your class, and then the actual thing that you have is your string. So like the phrase "hi" would be your object. So we are actually going to create a class called company. So how you would do that is you're going to start off with this class keyword, and right after that you're going to put the name of what you want your class to be. So we're going to call it company. And then that's just going to be followed by an opening curly brace, and you're going to close it at the end of your class. Now, within each class, you're going to have a number of properties. So properties can be any type. So they can be numbers, booleans, or strings. And every single instance of your class will have these same properties, but they might not have the same value. So for instance, every single company has a name, and that type is going to be a string, and the default value for a company name will just be an empty string. Another property that companies have is the founding year. So we're going to just call it year, and it will be a type number, and we'll just assign that to be 1900. And then lastly, we're also going to have a property called employees, and that is actually going to be a string array. So we're going to have an array of all the employee names, and we'll just initialize that to be an empty array.
So basically, now that we have our whole class up, we can sort of look at it now as like a template for the actual instances of this class that we're going to actually start writing. So for example, we can initialize our object to just be something called office, and then we're going to just set that equal to a new company. In this case, you're just going to put the name of the class, followed by some parentheses. So now that we have it initialized and everything, we can now start actually changing these default values to actually be like what we want them to be. So for this, what we do instead is now take the name of the object. Let's say we want to change the name property. So what we do to access this name property and change it, we would do office dot the name of the property, which in this case is name. And then we're just going to say equal to, let's say, Dunder Mifflin. So now let's change the year. So the year that Dunder Mifflin was founded is actually 1949. So now we're going to set office.year to 1949. And so now let's give our employees property some actual like employees. So now we're going to set office.employees to an array of strings, and this string is going to have all the names of the employees that we want to put in this company. So it's just going to be Jim, Pam, let's put in Michael in there, and now we have our whole object set up here. So now the office object is now going to have all of its variables, or like whatever like
properties.
Its properties in here are going to be set to these variables right here. So it's going to be Dunder Mifflin for its name. For its year, it's going to be 1949, and then Jim, Pam, and Michael in the array is going to be its employees.
If you wanted to only have the name, you could just say print office.name, and that output will give you the company name, just as we said before.
And if you have any more questions about these topics or any other Comp 110 topics in general, we strongly recommend you look at our topics page. So I'm just putting a shameless plug out there. All right, thank you for watching this video.
Bye, everyone.